Okay, well, it's June. It's Pride Month, right?
Mm-hmm. Woo-hoo!
I think I did this same set about a year ago. We'll see if it comes off any better.
Are you doing the song first?
I'm going to do the poem first.
Oh, you're doing the song first.
About 5 years ago, I took a class through the Quatrefoil Library. It's called Revisiting the AIDS Generation. This is one of the poems that I wrote in that class, and the song I wrote the lyrics for in the class. I later on setting it to the next fall, and it changed a little bit more over time after that. The instructor of the class said, well, to start with, we're going to go back to 1981. And 1981 was a pretty important year in my life. I went to the first time I went to MythCon, which has been kind of I don't know, my whole life has kind of revolved around it at times over the years since then. But at MythCon, I met a fellow, and the poem is mostly about him, although it kind of mentions another fellow that worked for me for a while who had died. Anyway, so that May, I went to this funeral in Wisconsin, or I tried to go to the funeral in Wisconsin. And the poem is just kind of about that day and what I was thinking about. It's called Funerals for a Friend. Kelson, I thought of you today. I was hastening to a funeral, too fast to stop and question. I drove by the city I wanted, following Siri's direction. And I came to the turnoff to your hometown. It was spring in western Wisconsin. From the freeway, I could see the patchworked fields, quilting the rolling hills. The green and leafing trees had that color you don't see later on. You must have seen it every spring when you still lived in Hammond. I arrived in Baldwin, guessing already that there must be another funeral home in Hudson. What would you have thought of Siri and stupid smartphones for stupid me? I remember you so animated, laughing in the sun. It caught on the burnished hairs on your chest like copper wire as you squired me around the campus in Oakland, California. Up in the foothills overlooking the big city and San Francisco Bay. So many times I drove this highway, but not for 20 years or so. And then to turn around after a correction with Siri, I passed again the sign to Hammond, as if passing through time from the other direction. I think of the song by the Roaches. If you go down to Hammond, you'll never come back. It's a different Hammond, but anyway. Such a lovely, peaceful hamlet. But you left Hammond behind so completely that you even abandoned your given name. You chose the name we called you from a book we both had read. Hammond must not have been so verdant and peaceful for you. When I arrived at the funeral, I was too late for the service. I read a eulogy at the door. I put an envelope in the slot. I remembered Andy. I knew him when he was even younger than you were, 18. And then, after 4 years, I rarely saw him. And I had not seen him in many years. But he lived longer than you did. Still too young, both of you. Medicine failed both of you, but you were failed by more. Politics and culture and history and religion, and maybe by Hammond. Years ago, I didn't take your invitation, perhaps infected even then. It might easily have been otherwise. My mother might have wept at my funeral. My grandmother's seamed my patch into the quilt.